If you would have been the number 2 pick or 3 pick as
Yeah.
opposed to 1, how do you think that would have affected you, staying in the league through struggles or not at all?
I mean, I would have been still in the league because I'm a dog. Like I would have found a way. I would have found a way. Uh,
No
The
question.
WNBA has just delivered a breathtaking surprise that has left everyone astonished. Kelsey Plum, the talented sharpshooter from the Las Vegas Aces, is transferring to the Indiana Fever, leaving fans across the league in shock. This isn't your ordinary offseason trade. It's the kind of thrill that keeps basketball aficionados hooked. Celebrated for her intense energy on the court and her magnetic presence off it, Plum is officially leaving the vibrant scene of Las Vegas to begin a new journey in Indiana. For the Fever, this move signifies more than just acquiring a player. It's a bold declaration that they're ready to step out from the role of underdogs. This move is sending shockwaves through the WNBA, elevating the competition to new heights. The Fever, a team that has struggled to find its footing for quite some time, now boasts one of the league's brightest talents on their roster. Meanwhile, the Aces, fresh off their recent championship triumph, are grappling with tough questions regarding their decision to part ways with Plum. Was this a strategic maneuver, or could it be a decision they'll come to regret? The full consequences of this move are still emerging, but one thing is certain: this development is igniting conversations everywhere. If you're as thrilled as we are about this major signing, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for the latest WNBA updates and in-depth coverage of the hottest stories. Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning of an exciting journey.
Kelsey, with you now being the face of Under Armour women's basketball, what's been that experience like working with them?
Yeah, I mean, I have really enjoyed my, my partnership with them. They've just been so, just supportive and just like the vision that I want, for, trying to like impact young women and really cool, like being able to collaborate. They're super open to ideas. Like people have had a lot of great feedback from like the shoes that we've done and stuff like that, all the PEs. So that's been a lot of fun. The team has been awesome. I've had a wonderful experience.
What do you think is going to be the #1 key to win another championship this year?
I mean, I just think a game at a time. Phoenix is really good, especially at home, and I think that.
Who is Kelsey Plum? A standout in the WNBA, Kelsey Plum transcends the typical basketball player. She captivates audiences with her consistently thrilling performances. As a 2-time WNBA champion and a 3-time All-Star, her name is firmly etched in the league's legacy. Often referred to as the human flamethrower, her ability to amass points is extraordinary, and her confidence on the court is infectious. Beyond her athletic prowess, Plum shines as a social media icon, a fashion trendsetter, and a role model for aspiring young athletes. What sets Plum apart is her unique swagger. She doesn't merely play the game, she dominates it with fearless drives to the basket and the knack for sinking clutch shots, often leaving defenders second-guessing their moves. Her competitive nature is unforgettable, whether she's taking on some of the league's best players or motivating her teammates. Plum brings an undeniable intensity that demands attention. Expect the Fever's acquisition of Plum to represent more than just adding a talented player. It signifies the introduction of a superstar capable of transforming their franchise's culture. She's not just another addition to the roster. She's a dynamic leader, a trendsetter, and the type of athlete who can elevate a struggling team into a formidable contender. And for fans, brace yourselves. Kelsey Plum is set to dazzle in Indiana. Why let Plum go? The Las Vegas Aces have made a daring decision by parting ways with Kelsey Plum. At first glance, this might seem unimaginable. Why would the reigning WNBA champions trade away one of their star players? The reasoning behind this move involves a blend of strategic planning, financial considerations, and long-term vision. By designating Plum as a core player, the Aces effectively prevented her from exploring other teams during free agency, simultaneously turning her into a valuable trading asset, one that Indiana was eager to acquire.
You know, first class. Matt, we got to practice at the new facility yesterday. It was absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that in my life. So just credit to him and what they're doing here, what they're building, and the investment that they've made in women. And, you know, they've definitely put their money where their mouth is.
This decision has ignited considerable debate. On one side, trading Plum enables the Aces to accumulate resources for the future and preserve their competitive advantage. On the other hand, it conveys that no player is entirely secure, even a star like Plum. Fans are divided in their opinions. Some applaud the move as a clever business strategy, while others worry that the team might be jeopardizing their long-term plans. After all, Plum was not just a talented player, she was a beloved icon and a crucial part of their championship achievements. For the Fever, this is a golden opportunity. While the Aces are planning for the future, Indiana is making a bold declaration. They're ready to compete now. By swiftly acquiring Plum, the Fever are establishing themselves as a team to watch this season. It's a victory for Indiana, but does it spell trouble for Vegas? Only time will tell the full ramifications.
Perfect answer.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that answer, and then we have good players is making its round on social media right now. You saying we have good players
Every time.
How you guys?
Every time.
This is why.
Hashtag Kelsey Plum.
I don't even have social media on my phone. No, what she asked was, and to be fair, she was like, "Wow, anytime Indiana makes a run, you guys just make your find a way to come back." And I'm like, yeah, no offense, but
We have good players.
I would hope so. Not disrespectful, but you know what I'm saying?
From underdogs to contenders, the Indiana Fever have long been lurking in the background, striving to recapture the glory of their 2012 championship. However, with Kelsey Plum joining their lineup, the team is embarking on a fresh chapter. They are no longer content with being perceived as underdogs. This acquisition goes beyond merely adding talent. It's about reshaping the entire story of the franchise. The Fever are now set to challenge the league's elite, and Plum is the ideal player to spearhead this ambition. Her arrival immediately enhances the Fever's reputation with her exceptional scoring ability, leadership skills, and championship experience. She brings a level of credibility that the team has previously lacked. It's comparable to upgrading from an outdated flip phone to the latest smartphone. Suddenly, Indiana feels invigorated, dynamic, and ready to face any challenger. For Fever fans, this is a cause for celebration. After years of disappointment, they finally have a team they can wholeheartedly support.
There's been off-season news that I would have to say has not been positive in reflection of the Aces. As both a member of the Aces, but also a member of high standing with, the Players Association, how do you balance those things and how you can address it and how you talk to other players about it?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you asking that. I think that's kind of I was waiting for the question, to be honest. It's tough. I wear a lot of different hats. I'm best friends with Dearica.
But this acquisition represents more than just Plum's on-court contributions. It embodies a beacon of hope for a franchise that hasn't reached the playoffs in years. Bringing Plum on board signals that brighter days are imminent. The Fever aren't simply building a team, they're sparking a movement. With Plum at the forefront, the possibilities are endless.
You come in as a rookie and like you said, you're trying to figure out a new environment, new teammates. You don't want to say too much, you don't want to say too little, and it's just so hard.
What if I told you that Caitlin Clark's greatest challenge wasn't on the court, but within the locker room? That her most significant achievement wasn't smashing records, but building connections? How do you excel without outshining your teammates? How do you blend in while still standing out?
It's crazy, looking back at a year ago today or around this time, I was just beginning my senior year of college. And obviously, people knew who we were and people attended our games, but it's obviously not on the magnitude that it is now.
Yeah.
So like life just changes fast, but that's what makes it fun and cool. And, you know, quickly started a new chapter of my life too, like moving here to Indianapolis. And
in an insightful podcast interview, Clark opened up about her rookie year and how she navigated those challenges. Her comments about her teammates will make you reconsider everything you thought you knew about the Indiana Fever. What are her true feelings toward the team around her? From sophomore Aaliyah Boston to Fever's close friend Lexi Hull and others such as Kelsey Mitchell and Nalissa Smith, we uncover Caitlin's unfiltered thoughts about them. Ready for the inside scoop? Let's dive in.
I mean, it was just a crazy year because you go all the way up to the national championship game and then you're playing right away.
Yeah.
You know, one of my coaches early on in my career said, you know, your rookie year is always so hard because you're in a new city, you're in a new place, you're with a new team, new coaches. There's so much that's not part of the routine that you're so used to. And you had that as like magnified.
Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the collegiate phenom, steps onto the WNBA court for the very first time. All eyes are fixed on her, with expectations soaring high. However, Clark's greatest obstacle isn't her performance on the court, it's finding her place within the team. During an eye-opening episode of the New Heights podcast, Clark delved into her rookie anxieties. She shared,
but like in my scenario, and obviously you guys too, like you're already highly thought of. Like people are turning to you to like be something or be someone. So it's hard. Like you're trying to get your feet wet, but also not do too much. And I think that's kind of what I struggled in early on is like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how they're going to react.
Pressure was overwhelming, and Clark felt torn between two worlds. She spoke about feeling adrift in the locker room. Should she take the lead or go along with the group? It was a mental battle intensified by her fame. Yet, amidst the turmoil, Clark discovered a positive side. The fast-paced WNBA environment kept her concentrated.
But I think it was good a little bit too. Like you don't have time to overthink things. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
like you're just on to the next. But at the same time, like you don't like. I feel like I never really ended the chapter of college. Like it was just like you been left. But maybe that's good. You don't have a lot of time to think about it. So I think that's definitely the weirdest part of, you know, women's professional basketball and obviously college basketball too. It's just that change. But that's kind of how it has to be too. So. It's just different.
Her teammates became her rock during this wild transition. While some teammates caused problems in the beginning, eventually everyone came together to thrive in the WNBA.
For not knowing, you nailed it. Well.
But also, like, I had a lot of really good vets around me too, so I feel very grateful for that. And we had a fairly young team too, so like people had been through it fairly recently, so they knew how I felt. But like, I feel like that definitely is a huge challenge. And that goes for whatever professional sport. Like you're trying to learn, but also people are looking at you like you got to perform and like be what they drafted you to be. And that can be tough.
In a heartfelt moment, Clark confessed, "I feel like I never truly closed the chapter of college. It was just like you left. But maybe that's for the best. There isn't much time to dwell on it." This highlighted just how abrupt and challenging the transition to the pros can be, even for a star like Clark.
You mentioned the vets, and I think, you know, for me at least, there was a lot. Some vets were incredible. Some of the vets, obviously, you're competing for jobs, so there's a little bit there, but you lean so much as a young player on your vets, and you lean so much from like, even just like in Philly, there's so many great players that played for the Eagles that like Harold Carmichael, who was a legendary Philadelphia Eagle, was like always around and willing to lend advice or anything. Did you have many former players or current players like reach out to you that really helped you in transitioning into the WNBA?
As Caitlin Clark continues to navigate the high-pressure world of the WNBA, her journey stands as a powerful example of resilience and growth. From overcoming locker room challenges to embracing the fast-paced professional lifestyle, Clark is not only proving her prowess on the court, but also her ability to build meaningful connections with her teammates. Her honest reflections highlight the complexities of transitioning from college stardom to the pros, reminding us that even the brightest stars face their own set of challenges. What do you think the future holds for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever?
The last 4 games, she's trying to get it all
standing ovation.
In an astonishing twist, Kennedy Carter has rapidly shifted from being one of the WNBA's most promising talents to an unrestricted free agent almost overnight. Celebrated for her dynamic scoring ability and exceptional footwork, Carter's sudden departure from the Chicago Sky has sent ripples throughout the league. How could such a gifted athlete find herself sidelined so abruptly? The answer lies in a series of controversial incidents that have propelled her career to a critical crossroads.
These two are going to have a battle tonight. The former Gamecocks has Plum got herself.
For fans who have followed her journey closely, Carter's descent from grace is both shocking and heartbreaking. She was a player poised to lead her team to remarkable success. Yet now, her name is entangled in one of the league's most discussed controversies. From awe-inspiring performances to locker room drama, her story stands as a cautionary tale about the repercussions when immense talent meets personal turmoil. As we explore this saga further, it becomes evident that this situation transcends basketball. It highlights the evolving culture of the WNBA, the immense pressures of stardom, and the significant impact that public missteps can have. If you're fascinated and eager to dive deeper into this incredible story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support enables us to continue bringing you the most engaging updates in women's basketball.
Which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
The infamous push became a turning point that reverberated throughout the basketball community. During an intense game, emotions soared, and Kennedy Carter shoved Caitlin Clark in a manner that left everyone, fans, players, and officials, astounded. This wasn't just an ordinary on-court clash. It was deeply personal. The push wasn't a spur-of-the-moment reaction. It stemmed from escalating tensions that had been building for weeks. Caitlin Clark, the emerging star of women's basketball, stood there in disbelief as the crowd hushed. For Carter, this gesture was more than a momentary lapse of control. It was a career-altering mistake. While basketball thrives on passion and fervor, actions like these can cross a definitive line. In an era where every move is captured on camera, Carter's impulsive decision in such a high-profile situation ultimately doomed her relationship with the Chicago Sky.
Get myself together. I know that I'm a vital piece of this team, and I know that I need to be in shape. I need to be ready to go. I need to be mentally ready, physically ready. So all of those things were coming into play while I was sick, while I was out. There were still things that I was doing, basketball-oriented, so that when I come back, you guys are like, oh, it's kind of like she didn't miss a beat. Yeah, because you still have to work when you're sleeping and you're sick and things like that. So, yeah.
What made this incident particularly disastrous wasn't just the action itself. It was the choice of target. Caitlin Clark isn't merely any player. She's the WNBA's shining star, winning the hearts of countless fans and redefining the league's image. By targeting her, Kennedy Carter didn't simply make headlines. She transformed herself into a cautionary tale within the league.
Whenever I decide to go to the WNBA, I hope it's that same thing. I hope I can continue to grow the game. I hope we're playing in front of sold-out crowds. I hope more teams are added to the league. There's so many tremendous players that don't even get the opportunity to play in the league.
To fully understand the impact of Carter's push, it's essential to recognize Caitlin Clark's significance within the WNBA. She isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon, breaking records, filling stadiums, and attracting new fans. Clark represents the bright future of women's basketball. In 2024, her meteoric rise has captivated not only dedicated basketball enthusiasts, but also casual viewers who tune in to witness her mesmerizing performances on the court. Clark's influence extends beyond her impressive statistics. She embodies what the WNBA aspires to be, a league driven by star power, marketability, and substantial growth. Sponsors are eager to partner with her, fans idolize her, and every move she makes becomes headline news. Therefore, when Carter pushed Clark during that intense moment, it wasn't just poor optics, it was a critical blow to her burgeoning career.
Was trying to redirect a pass. Schenectady! Clark. And drains it! Because she's been Clark!
While the incident involving Caitlin Clark dominated headlines, insiders close to the team reveal that the real issues run much deeper. For months, the locker room has been fraught with tension, with Kennedy Carter at the epicenter of the discord. Teammates have spoken quietly about her attitude, creating an environment that felt more like a pressure cooker than a supportive team. In professional sports, teamwork and chemistry are paramount. When one player disrupts that delicate balance, the consequences can be severe. Carter's fiery personality, which can be an asset on the court, often clashed with the culture the Chicago Sky aimed to build. Reports of missed meetings and public disputes painted her as someone out of sync with her team. In today's WNBA, where reputation and branding are as important as performance, these internal conflicts couldn't be ignored. The Sky's decision to part ways with Carter wasn't just a reaction to a single controversial moment. It was the result of months of unresolved tension reaching a breaking point. In 2024, social media has become a pivotal platform for shaping public perception. When Carter and Angel Reese abruptly unfollowed each other on Instagram, fans immediately sensed something was wrong. This wasn't just immature behavior, it signaled a significant rift within the league. The timing couldn't have been worse for Carter, whose reputation was already under scrutiny. In an era where every social media post is analyzed like game footage, these subtle online actions sent a clear message. Things were not okay. Fans and analysts began to speculate about the source of the discord, with many pointing to the growing tensions between Carter and her teammates. For Carter, this social media drama only intensified her troubles. In a rapidly expanding league capturing more attention than ever, every action, both on and off the court, carries substantial weight. When your Instagram activity becomes part of the narrative, it's evident that the stakes have never been higher. The Chicago Sky's difficult decision to release Carter was not made lightly. She was their leading scorer, the kind of player who could turn a game around in an instant. Yet, despite her undeniable talent, the Sky sent a clear message. No player is bigger than the team. Their official statement was polished and even praised Carter's contributions throughout the season, but a closer examination revealed that the issue extended beyond basketball. References to fit and culture hinted at the underlying problems that ultimately led to her departure. By letting go of Carter, the Sky aimed to convey a powerful message to the rest of the league. Raw talent alone isn't enough. In the current WNBA, teams are focused not only on winning games, but also on building strong brands and fostering positive cultures for the future. For players like Carter, this means that the margin for error has become alarmingly narrow. The WNBA is on the verge of a remarkable era, with record viewership, billion-dollar media deals on the horizon, and sponsors eager to invest. However, growth brings increased scrutiny, and players are now expected to be both role models and athletes. For Carter, navigating this new landscape has been challenging. In a time when every action is under the microscope, her controversies have begun to overshadow her skills. The league's heightened focus on professionalism and marketability means players must embody more than just talent. They must represent the future of women's basketball. Carter's journey is a poignant reminder that in the modern WNBA, image is crucial. The league strives to build something greater than any single player, and those who can't adapt risk being left behind. Kennedy Carter's story is still unfolding, and the rapidly changing dynamics of the WNBA continue to raise the stakes for everyone involved. What are your thoughts on her release?
Or as a live, but confirmation. As good as a confirmation. The draft. They leaked the expansion, part of the expansion draft.
Made its much anticipated speculation soared about build their inaugural rosterally. Caitlin Clark in these discussions, exceptional scoring prowess, 3-point shooting on the court. Kate, brightest stars in women. The potential to the Valkyries has buzz and enthusiasts and analysts.
We have our first portal, and there they are. Didn't pick up on it. The alphabetical order from the team ranking here in terms of who's.
In case you missed it, announced in alphabet the teams. So in terms of importance, glance, you might assume among them, but when an unexpected, the Valkyries chose Clark. This both fans and analysts igniting debates across in sports broadcasts. Valkyries' participation marked a pivotal year. It's a rare team to build its roster, and anticipation was watched to see their select. Many anticipated bold to bypass Caitlin Clark as one of the league's created a wave of confusion within the basketball.
On the back of the jersey, 4 more names that are about to moment, but we do want to do a little table. Notable games during what they'll open the season in the Sparks in a battle for Cal as well. The 7th, and they've got the Aces in
performance at Iowa, and her seamless WNBA only. As a hot, talented playmaker, unique ability to draw victories, Valkyries pass on draft opportunity. The nation of strategic building priorities of managing star established team, a prolific scorer, player, her pointers from seemingly is, and her make her an invaluable. Additionally, she exemplifies on and off the court can control during pivotal. Any team with her talents. However, franchise goes beyond us. It involves fostering chemistry, long-term strategy, vision necessitated to offer versatility. Like Caitlin Clark, forward way to make headlines interfered with the delicate, unified, and coherent. A prime strategic selection, as an exact Bentley brings defensive qualities that are crucial seeking to establish its. However, her select because it meant that Caitlin the Indiana Fever among fans suggest departure from the Fever to Clark's increasing her on-court coverage drives and energizes fans for the Indiana Fever cornerstone in their rebuild. Conversely, for the hiring a player of her reduced significant challenge, effectively managing a star substantial resources, and in terms Clark's playing style, team's offense is she thrives as a who relies on having. While this strategy established teams with it poses rise striving to find its Valkyries likely aimed identity from hinging on regardless of her talent. Their focus was probably balanced roster, a cohesive unit, comprehensively, without on any one individual.
A dream, the Golden Center.
Another layer to this is emphasis on defense. Players like Var and Monique Billing across multiple position team to adjust to vary. While drafting Clark, it could have constrained their well-rounded roster. The expansion draft rule option to protect, unsurprisingly, safeguard Caitlin Clark, moving her from the Valkyries. This move came at a players like Vag Bentley for the Fever. They prioritize player. Other valuable role play, unavoidable consequence. Protecting Clark underkins to the Fever's future a player, but the Chais loserly hampered their rebuilding. Nevertheless, leaving Vag Bentley as she is who brings both experience to the team. Profile players like signaled their commitment based on depth, strategic foresight, create immediate headline groundwork for long-term. Naturally, not this strategy. Valkyries forfeited a generational talent ability to attract fan mates, makes her a WNBA. Could be viewed as a risky for a new team in a competitive environment. There's a valid argument choice. Buildings requires time and while star players like transform a team, complexities both for the Valkyrie draft was about talent. It was about for a team at the highest levels. These gear up for their inaugural. Eyes will be on their roster. Will their strategic results or to pass on players like the outcome may, but one thing is clear, will be closely examined. Understanding the Valkyries' Clark requires text. How will this of the Valkyries and with the Indiana Fever new franchise carries to make a significant impact? Acquiring a would undoubtedly draw fans to the arena. A franchise's success determined by hype and cultivating a system. The Valkyries' balance over star power aspect of this decision. Clark's compatibility. Clark is renowned high-energy playing style, high-usage player who is designed to highlight. However, like the Valkyries, Clark's magnitude could roster. held to build entirely compromising depth. Historic Hure elite talent early themselves up for sustained. Clark's ability to stretch defenses and makes her a by passing are essentially betting on their comparable talent in the future that may or may
You know, I love talking about Caitlin Clark on this show, and she participated in some kind of LPGA Pro-Am, drew monster crowds. There's pictures of just like everybody trying to get an autograph with Caitlin Clark.
Outrageous criticism, media frenzy, and a string of headlines. It's safe to say that Caitlin Clark has been at the center of controversy over the past few months. In a move that caught everyone off guard, Clark struck a headline making deal with the LPGA, calling her WNBA legacy into question and sparking debates about loyalty, fame, and ambition.
One more quick photo.
Caitlin, Jay Monahan. Great to meet you. Looking forward to the afternoon together. Okay, go. Come on.
Hug it out. Squeeze in close together. We'll get one right here, please.
Speaking of which, the Caitlin Clark effect is starting to take shape. After delivering what could be the best rookie season in NBA history, she made the unexpected move to female golf, where she's now being heralded as the next big thing. But how did Clark manage to conquer 2 worlds in just 8 months? And why are critics calling her success a betrayal of women's basketball? In this video, we'll break down everything from Caitlin Clark's new deal to the backlash and everything surrounding her controversial journey. But before we dive in, let's take a trip down memory lane. At the start of the year, the Caitlin Clark effect was undeniable. Even before she set foot on a WNBA court, ticket sales for every platform skyrocketed by over 90% once she declared for the draft. Her performance in the league has been nothing short of outstanding. In her rookie season with the Indiana Fever, she averaged 19 points per game, scoring at least 13 points in 29 of her 36 games this year. What's even more surprising are her record-breaking feats, becoming the first player in WNBA history to hit over 100 three-point shots and rack up 300 assists in a single season. At this point, NBA analysts were already calling her a generational talent. But Clark's influence wasn't just reflected in the numbers, it was in the stands as well. Every week, Fever games turned into must-watch events, with fans traveling from across the country to see her play. She brought an entirely new audience to the WNBA. Meanwhile, Reese wasn't just riding the wave of hype, she was making her own history, becoming the first rookie to record an all-star game, double-double, the first WNBA player to achieve back-to-back 20-rebound games, and pulling off an impressive 24 double-doubles in her rookie season. While others are still trying to catch up, Reese is reshaping the game, and Clark has done more than just elevate the league's profile. However, while Clark was drawing record crowds, boosting TV ratings, and breathing new life into women's basketball, the WNBA failed to make her the face of the league. As a result, Caitlin Clark is now taking her talents and fan base elsewhere. Enter her debut at an LPGA Pro-Am, which drew bigger crowds than some of the tour's main events. At this point, she's not just rewriting the narrative in basketball, she's also making waves in women's golf. Playing alongside world #1 Nelly Korda at the Pelican Golf Club's Annika Pro-Am, Clark showed that her influence extends far beyond the basketball court. If anyone thought her dominance was limited to the hardwood, her impressive performance on the greens has now silenced many doubters. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the Pelican Golf Club course, it was clear this wasn't just another golfer taking their turn. The LPGA capitalized on the moment by pairing Clark with Nelly Korda, a marketing move that spotlighted both players as generational talents. The anticipation was electric, and even the Golf Channel rearranged its programming to cover her live, something unheard of for a Pro-Am event. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark took the spotlight in Florida, drawing massive crowds, and once again, proving that her star power extends well beyond the basketball court. Alongside Korda, Clark played with tournament host Annika teeing off at the crack of dawn and launching an early shot into the gallery. Fans were glued to her every move at Pelican Golf Club. The WNBA Rookie of the Year's presence drove ticket sales and boosted media attention for the event. After the round, she was swarmed for autographs, and with an endorsement deal from Gainbridge, the LPGA tournament's sponsor, and a role in a women's leadership summit, it was clear her presence was far from casual. While Clark insists that golf is her escape, her single long-range putt left fans wondering, is she just playing for fun, or is she quietly taking over yet another sport? One thing is clear, the LPGA is thriving on Caitlin Clark's star power in a way the WNBA could only dream of. The media and golf elite couldn't stop singing her praises. 8-time LPGA champion Nelly Korda, who played alongside Clark, had nothing but admiration for her after the game, praising her skills and presence on the course.
It was so amazing. She's so sweet, so nice. It was nice to kind of get to spend some time with her. We've messaged a little on Instagram beforehand, but to get to spend some time with her and to see the influence that she has on people, bringing people out here, and to see how amazing of an influence she is.
The praise didn't stop with Nelly Korda. LPGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan was equally blown away, calling Caitlin Clark's performance incredible and applauding her passion for the game. Overall, Clark's presence on the course didn't just spark excitement, it stirred up drama. Her growing star power now threatens to overshadow seasoned pros in yet another sport. Is Caitlin Clark the crossover phenom golf never knew it needed? Or is this a sign that women's sports are evolving faster than their leagues can keep up? At this point, it's clear Clark isn't slowing down anytime soon. However, not everyone is cheering for Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. While Korda and Monahan praised her for uniting fans across sports, insiders in the WNBA are reportedly seething over her crossover success. The LPGA's full-court press to spotlight Clark has left some in the WNBA feeling left behind. Insiders claim league officials are frustrated, not only by the LPGA's success, but also because the WNBA has failed to fully capitalize on Clark's star power. Social media lit up with clips of her swings, and national basketball and golf media flocked to the event. Tournament host and golf legend Annika Sorenstam captured the moment perfectly, highlighting Clark's undeniable impact on the sport. For better or worse, Caitlin Clark is rewriting the playbook for crossover stardom and shaking up women's sports in the process. Despite questions about her commitment to golf, it was revealed she's been swinging clubs since childhood. After making her 2023 debut at the John Deere Classic alongside major champion Zach Johnson, Clark's appearance at the Pelican Golf Club proved one thing: her crossover appeal is no fluke. Meanwhile, WNBA enthusiasts are rumored to feel overshadowed by Clark's dominance on the golf course, despite her record-breaking rookie season on the basketball court. While golf fans flock to see her tee off and whispers of a potential LPGA contract swirl, WNBA fans are left asking why their league hasn't given Clark the same level of attention. Take her Rookie of the Year award, for example. Rather than a grand celebration for her groundbreaking achievements, it was handed out in a nearly empty arena with little fanfare, a baffling move for someone who has done more to elevate the league in one season than most players do in a career. As the buzz around Clark's golf ventures intensifies, the WNBA's failure to capitalize on her star power becomes increasingly obvious. The LPGA has done what the WNBA couldn't. They turned Caitlin Clark's star power into a game changer. But here's the irony. Caitlin's rise should be a win for everyone. She has brought unprecedented attention to women's sports. Yet, while the LPGA embraced the moment and ran with it, the WNBA stayed stuck in its old ways, hesitant, overly cautious, and failing to seize the bold opportunity. When a male NBA or NFL star steps into another sport, social media explodes with hype. This was the WNBA's chance to do the same, celebrate Clark, ride the wave of excitement, and prove they can champion their biggest stars. Instead, they fumbled. Now, the league finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with a familiar issue: how to balance promoting standout players like Clark while still pushing the league forward as a whole. The LPGA made its move and won. Meanwhile, the WNBA risks being left in the dust, overshadowed by a star they didn't know how to celebrate. As Clark juggles her intense off-season training while fielding interest from the rapidly growing 3-on-3 women's basketball league, her crossover into golf raises an even bigger question. Is Caitlin Clark reshaping women's sports? Or is she quietly stepping away from basketball altogether?